So this time around, we want to improve the logging out process so that when a user logs out, we don't just delete that value in the store.token. We also send a request off to the backend to say, delete the token for this user, because that user has made the conscious decision to log out, and that token should be gone. And that means we need to make changes both on the back end and on the front end. So we'll start on the back end, and we're going to go to the file handlers.go, which is inside the CMD API folder on the back end. And at the very bottom, I'll just add another handler. So, func with the receiver of app pointer to application, and I'll call this one logout, which seems to make sense. And it requires, like all handlers, a response writer, w, which is http.responsewriter, and a pointer to a request, which I'll call r. So what we're going to do here is get some JSON posted to us. So I'll declare a variable, and I'll call it request payload, which is a good name, I think. It's a struct, and it has one field, which I'll call token, which is of type string. And in JSON, I'll call that, not surprisingly, token, lowercase. So there's my variable. Now, I'll check for an error when I call from app, that nice read JSON function we have, which requires the response writer, the request, and we're going to get the data put into that variable we just created called request payload. If error is not equal to nil, then I'll just say app.errorJSON and hand that w and a new error, errors.new, and I'll just say invalid JSON. And we'll return at that point because I don't want to go any further. Now, assuming we get past that, all I have to do now is to say check for an error when I call app.models.token.deleteByToken and give that request payload.token. And again, same error check, so I'll just copy and paste this and paste it right there. And now we'll give a response back. So I'll say payload is assigned the value of type JSON response, and I'll give it error is false, and the message is just logged out. And I'll write that JSON to the end user. So I'll ignore the error when I call app.writeJSON, and I hand that w http.status OK. You could use status deleted or whatever you want. And payload. So there's my handler. Now let's go to the roots, because we have to have a root to this handler. And I'll go to the top. And I can get rid of the get root for users login, because we just used that for testing, so that's gone. And now I'll add a root, mux.post/users/logout. And that goes to app.logout. Right there. Okay. So now I should be able to restart my back end, and the back end is finished, but we still have to make some changes to the front end, and we'll take care of that in the next lecture.